Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to the Live Inspired Podcast, Monday Morning Moments with John O'Leary. As you know, I record these each week so that you and I can begin these days and these weeks in awe and on fire with a burst of inspiration. We're going to begin this one with a quote from President Kennedy. John F. Kennedy said this: "What unites us is far greater than what divides us." I think in this era you and I are living, working, and existing in, we need to be reminded of those words one more time to kick it off. What unites us is far greater than what divides us. You know, everywhere we look, the world highlights everything separating us. From our news headlines, our social media feeds, even across the dinner table. Differences are magnified, divisions are emphasized, and it can leave us feeling distant or isolated, definitely discouraged. And yet, brothers and sisters, family and friends, what I have learned is that despite everything seemingly pulling us apart, we are far more alike than we realize. In fact, one of our hopes for Soul on Fire was simple: to remind people of our shared humanity, to encourage moviegoers to embrace the beauty of their story, yeah, for sure, but also to inspire audiences to bravely live their faith, their hope, and their love. Well, since release, we've received hundreds of correspondence from veterans, from widows, from pastors, from addicts, from business owners, retirees, and from students that the film delivered on those goals. And one of my favorites arrived just a couple weeks ago. The note read in part, "I have almost the same hands as you." It was from a second grader named Julia who had watched the movie with her family. Her mom shared that the little girl was born physically different than other babies. Although missing some fingers and some toes, Julia, turns out, is bright and spirited and absolutely loved. Even still, even in the second grade, she sometimes lacks some confidence, feeling different than all the other kids at school. As Julia sat in the theater watching Soul on Fire, though, she saw herself reflected in the story. She saw a little boy who occasionally lacked confidence, struggled being different than everybody else, felt less than sometimes. And, here's the important part, family, she saw a boy who eventually recognized the beauty in his scars, in his brokenness, in his life. In his discovery, a little girl seated in a theater recognized that same potential not only for how she viewed her hands, but how she perceived the value of her life too. My friends, the media, the political systems, and some people will strive to break us into factions. They will strive. And yet, when we see ourselves in someone else's story, when we see ourselves in someone else's struggle, and when we see ourselves as someone overcoming, something extraordinary happens. Hope ignites. Empathy blooms. Hearts open wide. Arms uncross, and differences, yes, even the big ones, fade. We recognize that far from our differences making us weak, they actually, once embraced, serve to galvanize us together and make us strong. As Soul on Fire leaves theaters and moves to a digital form, get ready for that, reaching an even larger audience, my hope is that regardless of how difficult life may get or how different we may feel, we recognize, as little Julia did, that our lives matter, that we are loved, and that we are in this together. In knowing those things, we will recognize, my friends, that the foundation is firm, the headwind might be real, but indeed, as always, the best is yet to come. So Julia and her mom and family and friends, for this time and until next time, my name is John O'Leary, and today is our day. What a gift. Live with your soul on fire.